We are.
The Girls Who Gab.
I'm Kassie.
And I'm Bayley.
And today's episode, we are doing a holiday recap, talking about all of the holidays that have passed since, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and, COVID. In this episode, we are also announcing something.
Yes! We're announcing that this is officially my last episode before I come back after baby Isaiah. But by the time this episode comes, I just had this huge epiphany actually. But by the time this episode comes out, which will be in 4 weeks, right? Is that what we decided? 4.5 weeks, about three weeks. My due date from that is 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks. And so that's so crazy to think about.
Oh my God.
My last episode, because I'll be done after that.
You're about to be a mom of two.
I know, a family of 4, a mom of 2. That's crazy.
So insane.
Ooh, a newborn and a toddler who's got more tube than me.
Yeah, which is saying something.
Yeah, which is saying something. Oh, so that's
exciting.
Nerve-wracking, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What are you drinking?
Oh, yeah, I'm drinking coffee. It's at the very end of my coffee. Yeah, it's you can't see, but it's less than an inch.
Just a little smidge of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm also drinking coffee. I have half a cup. And if you're watching this, you can see my cup. It's a cat mug. Matt got it for me for Christmas. It says cat person on the handle.
He's obsessed.
And it's huge. It probably holds about 14 ounces of coffee, which is it's a pretty big mug.
The video is not doing justice for that.
Yeah. Even when I saw it, when I pulled it out of, it was in my stocking, I didn't realize it was big until I put coffee in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much room still.
You're all, wait, it keeps going.
Yeah, exactly.
Cute. Well, love that. What is your, let's get into the cheers and the pours.
Mm-hmm. Well, my pour one out is everything that happened on January 6th. We're filming this on January 9th.
Yeah.
And on January 6th, that was when a bunch of people stormed the U.S. Capitol and broke in to the Capitol, and just insanity. That was I don't know, we're sitting here watching history happen. This is insane. And I said this on Twitter too, that it's not surprising that something like this has happened, but at the same time, watching it happen, it was just how is this happening?
Yeah.
All at the same time, you're so surprised, while also it's not that surprising considering everything that's happened in the last 4 years. And I don't know, just it's nerve-wracking and unsettling. I think that's a good word for how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah, no, that's my pour one out too, that there's things keep taking place around those certain, events, and it's very frustrating because you want to try to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you want to try to stay so positive and just want it to get better, at the same time knowing that questioning God, is this ever going to get better? And it's so we were watching an episode of Survivor last night, super old season, but there was someone on there who was just so political and so talking about race a lot. And I was like, this was obviously all these things have always been a big part of our lives, but it's crazy that, just like you said, it's it's a part of our history now. My daughter and soon son are going to be learning the things that have happened recently in the past 5 years in their classes, and that's just crazy to think, because it's so traumatic and it's making such an impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always been a big thing, everything that's taking place, but I just feel over the past couple of years it's escalated to crazy extremes.
Yeah, I can't help but feel helpless, I guess.
Yeah,
I know that obviously we do live in a democracy. I do vote, and I do take politics very seriously as as a citizen, I guess. Like, I think that that's really important and stuff. But even being a person who like thinks all of those things, I still feel like I don't have any control over what's going on right now. Like, it feels like it's so far away.
Yeah.
And out of my control, even though like technically we the people of the United States have the power, and like I just don't feel like that right now. It's
Yeah. It
frustrating.
sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks because, I mean, like I said, you want to try to see the better, and it just isn't going anywhere near that. It's like going like down, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sucky. It's really sucky, especially like just starting a new year like that. It just sucks. I mean, a lot of people out there like it's just a new year. It's just a new number. It's literally another day. It doesn't mean anything. But you want it to mean something, and it's just not right now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I saw this to end this kind of on a lighter note on the same topic. I saw this TikTok, and it was it's like one of those boards where you can like put the letters on and stuff, and it says like days in 2021 since last incident, and then it has the number 6, and then she like flicks it off and puts a 0 and like chugs a bottle of wine, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've seen so many memes. I've seen there was a meme of like 2020 and welcoming or showing 2021 around, and it's like the Joker is showing it around.
Yes, I saw that one too.
I laughed so hard. I hate both of those, but I laughed extremely hard at just the concept of it. Mm-hmm. And then what other one did I see? I think a lot of them have been like people counting down number of, great days or whatever, same thing. And then just like 2021 is going to be great. It's going to be a great year. And then it's like out the window.
yeah. The last one that I saw too was because Twitter banned Trump like forever. He's like officially gone. And there's this meme of like Twitter thinking that it did something, like ha ha ha, and it has that picture of SpongeBob and Patrick with the whole city burning behind them, and they're like, "We did it, Patrick! We saved the city!" But the whole city is burning. Yeah, liked that one too. That one was good.
Yeah. That's not going to stop anything. That's hilarious. I didn't know that. That's really funny.
Yeah. Cheers to that. On a lighter note, do you have one?
No.
Okay,
yet.
well, I can go while you think.
Go.
I am seeing 3 houses this weekend. Well, I mean, me and Matt are seeing 3 houses this weekend, and I think this was in my cheers to that / pour one out last week, which is just that like house hunting, we're not looking to buy, we're looking to rent. So like it doesn't need to be perfect, but obviously we are looking for certain things, and like it's just stressful. It's like stressful that you have to tell your apartment complex that you're leaving even though you don't have a place to stay yet, and like all that stuff. But we are seeing houses this weekend, and our apartment complex just gave us our estimate about our deposit, and we think we're going to get a majority of our deposit back. So I mean, assuming that actually happens, that'll be really nice because we were expecting to not get anything back.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting. Goodness. My cheers to that is, it's kind of like a mix between like a cheers to that and a pour one out. I give these often. But my cheers to that is that I'm almost about to have a baby. And like, I'm super, like, I'm just in a whole different mindset. Like, I'm stressing out about the little things. I'm so excited about it, and I can't wait. I don't think I'm going to last 40 weeks or even 39 weeks. I swear I think this baby is coming, like, soon. And that stresses me out because we're actually not prepared. Just with everything this last year, there hasn't been a lot of room to save up loads of money. Right now I don't have a job, and I got unemployment, but I got unemployment for only 1 week before I went on my maternity leave, and stuff like that takes a really long time to process. And so I still haven't been getting paid for since December 12th. So I only have 1 paycheck from December 5th to the 11th. And that was very minimal. And then thank God I got the stimulus check. So and so did Andre, obviously, and he's still working. But it's just, there's a lot of like stress an anxiety that I'm giving myself, and I'm trying not to because I don't want this baby to come like tomorrow or today. So anyways, I'm super excited, but I am a little nervous. Like I'm in a whole different, I don't know, mindset this go around, I guess. I'm more anxious because I know what it takes to have a newborn in the house. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like you know what to expect, so then
Yeah.
you don't feel like you're ready.
Exactly. Because I mean, with Amelia, I was like, plus it was a different world, quite literally, when I had Amelia and when I had my baby shower was able to be, you know, a month away from my due date, and everything was fantastic. And I was just more prepared. You know what I mean? So my cheers to that is that.
It is an exciting time, but all at the same time, there's like real world concerns, I guess.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
I know.
I like have listened to a lot of people who are like that I follow on YouTube and stuff, who are either pregnant or like trying to get pregnant or just had a baby and stuff, and during this year of the pandemic. And it's like simultaneously obviously really exciting, but like it's a different experience this year than any other year in this, you know, time frame of history, I guess.
Right.
To be giving birth, because like dads don't get to go to the doctor's appointments, as an easy example, and all this stuff is different.
While you said that really quick, Andre got to see a real life ultrasound for the first time. He didn't go with me to the appointment still, but usually I just bring home the pictures and he's able to see it. Well, I got to FaceTime him, and so that was super exciting. So he like saw the heartbeat, heard the heartbeat, and that was super cute and emotional. And Amelia, he was here with Amelia, and Amelia was like, oh, and like she was so cute.
Oh, that is so cute.
That was exciting. I know. I'm really excited to do when we do the episode of like the catching up and like when I'm back, I want to do an episode about like labor, birth, having a family of 4 now and 2 kids in the house. I'm really excited because with Amelia, when we did her birth episode, there was a lot of like, I don't know, did that happen? What time? How many ounces? Because it was just a
long time ago.
Yeah, and I was in a tiny apartment, so I didn't have like all her stuff to look up, and I am a horrible pregnant person, and I don't write things down. Like I don't keep a diary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this one I'm excited because it'll be, I mean, not immediately after, but closer.
But really soon after, yeah. If you guys are interested, I'll make sure in the description to put what episode number the birth episode is that Bailey mentioned, which is all about Amelia's birth.
Yes.
Yeah. Yay.
I know. Okay. All right. Well, let's get into it. Talk about this holiday recap.
Where do you want to start? I don't even know. Did we talk about Thanksgiving? I think we did.
Just Christmas and New Year's, and the fact that it was just so different. My pour one out 2 weeks ago was the fact that I didn't get to spend time with my family. I was in close contact with a positive person, and so that was my pour one out. That because of that, my 14 days was during that Christmas week, and so I canceled all my plans with my family. And I mean, you and I are both like big family people, and your family, I mean, this year wasn't going to throw a party like they usually do, but they were still going to get together, you know. And my family, half my family throws a big party, and I decided I wasn't going to go to that. Even before I got tested, it was just too much going on for me. And then just the Christmas day, it was still good. It was still good, but it wasn't what I envisioned being my first Christmas in my house that I have bought. It was just upsetting, you know?
Yeah.
And there's nothing that we can do about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a different like landscape of the holiday season. And we did like my dad's side did still get together. But it was a lot smaller than usual. Like again, we did kind of go over this in one of our pour one out and cheers to that. If you don't know, we do a weekly check-in on Instagram. So if you're interested in hearing us talk more, you should go on there. But yeah, it's a different experience this year. So usually my dad's side does like a big party with our friends and family, and it's like, I mean, last year it was like 30 people, I want to say, like maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that year, especially. Like that was a pretty big year.
Yeah.
And this year it was pretty much just my like dad, stepmom, me, Matt, my brother-in-law, and my brother. And that was it. And so like we still did all of the like holiday food and stuff, trying to like make it feel as normal as possible. But we normally do like a white elephant gift exchange, and we just decided not to play it because like it was just the immediate family that we were all buying gifts for anyways, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because normally we do like a huge white elephant.
Plus, that game is way more fun with loads of people.
Yeah, and that's what like stands out to me from last Christmas, like 2019, is that game lasted for so long because there were so many people, and normally it was a long one.
Yeah. Well, see, but none of that happened.
Yeah, so it was just like low key. So I ended up getting very drunk on Christmas. I normally am like not the drunkest one. My dad normally is pretty drunk, and this year he was like pretty sober, which is just not like he gets belligerent or anything, but he's just usually like a jolly drunk guy. And he decided not to this year, which is fine. But I was drunk. The thing that stands out the most to me from that night is we're all sitting at the table, and David, my brother-in-law, and Zachary, my brother, decide to pull up 2 different like quizzes about Harry Potter, which PS, fuck J.K. Rowling. But they both decided to do that, and David was asking like the most ridiculous questions that I could not answer. He was like, how many staircases are in Hogwarts? And I'm like, that is not a Harry Potter question. Like I'm just like batting him away, like don't even ask me dumb questions. My dad decided that because I couldn't answer any of David's questions, now I'm not a Harry Potter fan, and I'm like, I don't even want to talk to anybody anymore. So I'm just like drunkenly being asked.
Yeah.
I was so over it. Yeah.
Dang.
So that's something that stood out to me this Christmas.
Yeah, I haven't been drunk on Christmas or New Year's in 5 ever. I usually, 1, always work. And 2, if I like even drink mimosas in the morning, it's still been a while. Because last year on Christmas, we were trying, that was when we had started to try to get pregnant, before we took another break and then started again. And so I didn't drink. And, and same with New Year's, like I didn't do anything. But Andre and I honestly aren't big like we celebrate New Year's, obviously we ring in the new year and all this stuff, but we don't go out to parties and stuff. Like I don't know, both of us are usually always working. He worked this year too, but he got off earlier, and I was just sitting at home, but I don't know. He got invited to go hang out with his buddy, which just lives right down the street from us, and it was just him and his roommate. So literally, it would have just been 4 of us. But we didn't go to that because we're just like, we don't really want to go. We ended up falling asleep at like 11 o'clock on New Year's.
Oh my God, you didn't even wait. So New Year's is always a what? Oh, you did?
Yeah, but it didn't really drop this year. But they did, like, the celebration, and it was really fun to watch. It was pretty cool, actually.
Nice.
All virtually and stuff, but they had people celebrating in the streets, like an X amount of people and everything, and everyone kept their distance and blah blah blah. And we watched that at 9 o'clock, and then we were like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what happened.
Oh, our New Year's is always either one or the other. It's either like we stay home and kind of like just chill. We'll have like a shot at midnight usually or something like that. Or we go to a party, or we go. Last year, I really wanted to go to the aquarium. They do a quarterly event. And that year they were doing one on New Year's Eve where they were going to have like DJs and stuff inside of the aquarium, drinks.
I know, we're all going to go.
Yeah, and then Matt got sick. He thinks that he had COVID before we knew that it was COVID, like before it was like in California. But he got sick, so we didn't go, which I'm super bitter about now because, like, when is the next time that we'll ever be able to do something like that? I just feel like it'll never happen. But anyways, this year we stayed home. I watched When Harry Met Sally by myself because to me that's like a New Year's Eve movie, and Matt was gaming. And that was like early on in the evening. And then we both watched, or all three of us, David included because he lives with us, we all watched The Lost Boys, which is not at all a New Year's Eve movie, but we wanted to watch it.
Okay.
And then we watched something else. Oh, and then I put on Soul because we had just watched it the night before together, you and I. And so then I was like, watch this movie. Like, you'll really like the art, blah, blah, blah. Matt almost fell asleep before midnight. And I was like, okay, so we're turning this off because you need to wake the fuck up.
You didn't enjoy it?
He did not like it. He thought it was boring. He didn't like the art, nothing, but whatever. He's annoying. It's fine. So then at like 11, so that was at like 11:30, we turned it off. And then I was like trying to get him to like be awake because he was like starting to fall asleep. So we kind of were just like doing our own thing on the couch or whatever. And I was like, come on, like at least like sit up so that you don't fall asleep before midnight. Like you have like 25 minutes, you'll survive. So we start making our way into the bedroom. Like we turned off all the lights, we got our water, whatever. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to put a countdown on. I need to find a countdown. I found it 2 seconds before midnight. I watched the countdown for 2 seconds and I was like, 1. And then we kissed for New Year's. And then in our neighborhood, so many illegal fireworks happened. Like usually it's not that many, but this year there was so many illegal fireworks. So we opened up our window and like could hear people, you know, celebrating and like saying Happy New Year's and like screaming countdown, like all of that. And then we were seeing all the fireworks. So that was cool. Like we've never done anything like, we've never really like witnessed that in like a neighborhood before. So that was fun.
That's fun because you're on the 3rd story, so you can really see the fireworks, you know?
Yeah, so like where our bed is, like we just like laid down and watched fireworks like in bed.
Had your window open and now, Oh, fun. So the 2 biggest holidays that there are fireworks, 4th of July and New Year's, okay? We weren't here for 4th of July this year, so we were at the lake, so we didn't really get to experience what our neighborhood did during that holiday. Well, we experienced on New Year's. So we found out.
Wait, question. In the city you live in, are fireworks legal at all?
No idea.
Okay.
But,
I would venture to guess they're not, honestly.
I want to say yes, because the amount of fireworks that there were, like there's no way that many people don't give 2 craps about getting arrested.
Were there any of like the street ones, like the little ones that you could buy like in Lakewood?
Yes.
So then probably yes.
Okay.
Usually that's like the how you know.
Got it.
Based on my experience at least.
Yeah, there was a couple. So it was nonsense. We were up all night. Like even though we went to bed, we got woken up at the stroke of like, you know, real California time, 12 o'clock midnight. And it was a pain in the butt. 2 doors down, they had the big, nice, like Disneyland fireworks.
Those are illegal no matter what.
Okay.
The big ones are always illegal.
They had those, and it was annoying and loud, and they did so many of them. So we were up forever. The street behind us and all those houses, also all of them, probably about 4 of them, had also the same exact fireworks. It was just so annoying. And the next day, I was complaining to our neighbor about it, Amanda. I was like, so did the fireworks wake you guys up? Because I know that they didn't stay up either because they're early birds. And she was like, oh my God, yes. And I was complaining about it. And she was like, girl, thank goodness you weren't here for 4th of July because they do that 4th of July and New Year's every year. And I was like,
so now you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. I just, whatever.
Yeah, like where we live, where our apartment is situated, one, it's loud no matter what because we live on a busy street. So like we're used to sound.
Yeah.
Anyways, but then on top of that, because we live on the busy street, like the fireworks weren't happening that close to us. They were happening like streets into the neighborhood and we could watch it, which was really cool at midnight. But they did wake us up. It woke me up once at like 1:30 or something, but
Yeah.
I sleep really easily. So like it woke me up and I immediately fell right back to sleep. Matt said he had a little bit more of a problem sleeping that night, but
Yeah. Ugh.
oh well.
See, I wish that was the case. Well, no, I don't wish that I lived on a busy street, but I wish that the fireworks weren't in my neighborhood because I love fireworks. When we lived in our apartment complex, we could see Disneyland fireworks at 9:30 every night, and we can see Angel Stadium fireworks whenever whenever they won a game. So that was fun, and I love watching them, but not right up close and personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dang.
So that was it. We just stayed home for all the holidays, and it kind of was just a bummer. I was super.
But you went after the New Year, right after.
I did. I went, but I just went for the day. So for New Year's, I did go. Well, not for New Year's Day. Obviously, I just said I was home. But for that Saturday follow, so 2 days after New Year's, I went. My family always goes to the lake for New Year's, and we do the, they take out all the sand rails and the razors, and we just do long rides every day. Because like where we go, I say the lake, but it's also a lake, a man-made lake in the middle of but nowhere. And so it's also in the middle of like a desert and a bunch of sand dunes. And so during the summer we lake and we boat. And then during the winter we go out and we do day trips and riding and like get all nice and cozy and warm, pack lunches. We'll eat lunch at pit stops along the way. Everyone drinks. It's a great time. Well, this year, because my asthma's so bad, I was going to go. My parents went for 4 days since New Year's was on Thursday. So that was really cool. But I didn't go the entirety of that trip with them. So I sent Amelia off with them because it's her favorite place on the planet. And she had a really good time. But I only decided to go for a day trip, which was really great. It was just my parents and then my aunt and uncle, or are they my cousins? I don't know what they are, but
one couple.
They have 2 kids, and they're Amelia's cousins, and they had a blast. That was another reason why I sent her, because I knew she loves them and they love her, and it was just such a great time. But it was very like small, quaint. Our big family, doesn't go. So I knew everyone was still keeping their distance. And so I said, okay, I'll go up Saturday, make it a day trip. I was also super concerned about my asthma. So because my asthma's been really bad this pregnancy, and when I go to the lake, it's really bad. It's a very rare occasion that I go to the lake and don't not enjoy myself, but like can breathe and be completely 100% fine. It's like not a thing ever anymore. So I stayed for as long as I could. I was there early enough to have breakfast with them, and then we went out on rides and we had lunch, and then came back and we had dinner, and that was really nice. But then I kind of started to struggle, and so we ended up leaving at like 7:30, but it was nice. It was really, really enjoyable. I'm glad I got to do that, like tradition at least.
Yeah. So you went on rides. I was going to ask, like, are the rides dangerous with pregnancy?
They are, but my dad went slow. It was funny because like Andre was like, okay, like, are you there yet? And right when I got there, we like had breakfast, and like I get so
I thought he went. He didn't go at all?
No, because he works. He only has Sunday and Mondays off. So
that's right.
Yeah. It's always kind of a bummer. Unless like it's a holiday on Monday and then my parents have off and they go that weekend, they'll stay till Monday. We'll go up on Sunday because then it's like not everyone's packing up and leaving while we're getting there. You know what I mean? It'll make it fun. But he didn't do it this time, so it was just myself and Amy. But it's funny because when I got there, I got distracted and all this stuff, and then by the time he texted me saying like, "Did you make it there?" I was like, oh yeah, we're about to go on a ride right now. And then like I packed my phone away and we went out on the ride, and he was like, are you sure this is safe? I'm just be careful, and like blowing me up. And I mean, my dad went slow, obviously. He was cautious. Plus, not only like myself and pregnant, but like Amelia is in the buggy right next to me. And so although she really likes to go fast, it puts her to sleep. And so that's really
fun. Oh my God. What?
She has the big helmet on, and she's in her car seat because obviously we put the car seat in. She has this big puffy jacket on, and she's just so like squeezed and cramped that like she doesn't move too. She moves, but not too much, you know. And so she just has the big helmet, and she falls asleep every time. It's like inevitable.
Oh, that's funny. Oh
But
my
it
gosh.
was fine. It was I was safe. There was a couple times where like I mean, so you can't predict certain bumps, you know what I mean? So like sometimes the slower my dad went, it was like, oh, okay, no, you need to speed it up because I can't.
Because it's like, it hurts.
Yeah. Exactly. But nothing to where it was like putting myself in danger or like, you know, all of us are already cautious.
Because they're called buggies, right?
Yeah. Buggy, sand rail. Yeah.
Yeah. So those things, like, you can like jump off of like the sand dunes or whatever, right? Like that's kind of what they're for.
Yeah.
But I would assume that he didn't really do too much of that with you and Amelia in the car.
Nope. No, we came back later that night, and my dad, when I say him, and his cousin Chris, they actually went out and took just a boys run. So Chris took his razor and my dad took his sand rail, and they went out, and all of us were like, you know, my mom was prepping dinner, we were watching the kids and all the girls and stuff, and they went out and they were gone for like an hour, and you know that they went hardcore. And so that was fun. So they got to do that. And to be honest, usually I like going fast and I like that experience, but I don't really like the bumps. Like the big ones. Like I don't like the jumps and then being in the air for a hot second and then I don't know.
I have been on a sand buggy is what I'm gonna call it, because that's what comes to my mind. I haven't been on one of those since I was a little kid, and so like obviously I haven't been on it when they've like really done crazy stuff, because just like what you're talking about with Amelia, they like try not to. I really want to go, but I also think that I'll actually not like it that much. I don't know, like I get really nervous.
You would just not like that trip in general because you're not an outdoors person.
I like going, like, doing outdoorsy things. What I don't like is camping. So, like, if there's a cabin, we're fine. If there's a tent, we're not fine. For me. I mean, I would do it, though. Like, Sierra and Nick, which is our friend Sierra, and then her boyfriend, they're, like, super outdoorsy. And before COVID happened, we were originally planning on going to Washington State, the four of us, me, Matt, Nick, and Sierra, and getting one of those like giant 4-person tents and going camping together. It was like this like super fancy tent. Like, what's a fancy tent? I don't know, but it was apparently supposed to be fancy. And so we were gonna go, like, that was like right when they were talking about buying the van that they now have.
Yeah.
Doing all of that. So like we were going to go, like, Matt and I are both not very outdoorsy people, but a once in a while thing sounds exciting, but doing it all the time, no.
I want, when you do that, when that trip happens, can you vlog the whole
time?
I'll
vlog.
I want your experience.
Yeah, I'll vlog it one day, because obviously we didn't do that because COVID happened, etc.
I know it'll still happen though. So
yeah, one day it'll happen. We also, like, I mean, obviously, like, potential babies in the future, all of that. So like we're trying to figure out with COVID when that'll end, and then also like if pregnancies happen, when is this gonna happen? Because I don't know. This time of life is very weird.
No, yeah, for sure. It's hard to plan anything right now because there's no, I mean, just like we can't say when our episodes are going to return to you and I because we don't know when that date is yet. You know what I mean? There's no timeline.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, I have one more like segmenty question for you, because this is the last episode, and I'm totally surprising Bailey with this question. This is the last episode before Bailey leaves, so I want you to talk about, like, you did vaguely, talk about it in your cheers to that, but like more in depth of like, what are some of the things that you're most excited for? What are some of the things you're most nervous for in regards to having baby number 2?
Okay, so 2 things that I'm super excited for. I'm super excited to have a newborn. I love that stage. Like, yes, it's like stressful and a totally like different environment with like being you're exhausted, you're just it's a constant go. And I don't even know what that means yet because I'm gonna have 2 kids, so it's a constant go with a newborn and a toddler in the house. But I love the newborn stage and the like the coddling and like, you know, people say don't coddle your kid, blah blah blah. I will hold my kid all day long, and I love that stage, the smell, the peeling of the baby. I'm just so excited. That's what I'm excited for. The second thing I'm most excited for is to see Amelia like go through this experience with us, and to watch her just become like a big sister is just gonna be so exciting. Oh, and I'm super excited about it.
If I were to say what I'm excited for, one, I am so excited to be able to hold a newborn again. Your newborn. I'm so excited. The newborn baby time is like my favorite to visit. And like, obviously with COVID and everything, I don't know what that'll look like for the 2 of us. We're going to have to talk about that later, but
I know.
I love newborns. They're so small and they just like don't do anything except for cry and sleep, and they're just so cute.
Attack my boobs. I know.
Yeah, and then like to get to see, I'm like so curious too about what you were saying with Amelia. Like, how will Amelia react? Like, because like if you look online and stuff, toddlers who become big siblings react like various ways. So like, what kind of big sister will she be?
I know,
like,
and
what
like
are some of the funny
reaction
stories?
already as a big sister has been like so breathtaking already, you know, and it's not even it's not even like happening yet, but it is. I don't know, it's weird to say, but she is just so excited about the moment, you know, already. And it's like every day. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but like before Christmas time, you know, when is baby brother coming? Like, when can we have him? When does he come out of your belly? Blah blah blah. And my answer would always be like, I mean, she doesn't know the months yet, so my answer was always after Christmas time, baby brother will come. Blah blah blah. Literally, Christmas came, Christmas went. So when is he coming? When it's after Christmas, I'm like, okay, now we got to go through months. Okay, there's January. I'm like going through the whole thing. I was like, February is going to be the time that baby brother comes. And she's like, okay, every morning it's still, when is he coming? So it's not, she's so excited. And that's just so crazy.
You got to get a wall calendar and be like, not this month when we flip it.
I know. One of her Christmas gifts was from my aunt. She got a subscription to is it called Highlights or something like that? It's a magazine basically for kids, and it's like there's a bunch of searching stuff in it. There's reading activities, and it's super cool. Well, this first subscription came with a calendar, and like each calendar she does search and finds, and it's super cute. So we already did January. She was all excited.
Oh, cute.
So anyways, that was her Christmas gift. But I should put that up. That's a really good point. I should put that up. Because she did really good with the advent calendar. She loved that thing. And she was so like understanding of like, oh my God, it's only like X amount of days left. So
cute.
I should do that. Good thinking there, Kassie. The thing that I am most nervous for, 2 things again, is one, I'm super nervous and anxious to try breastfeeding again. For those of you that have been with us since the beginning, or listen to the labor and delivery and birth and newborn stage with Amelia on that episode, I did not breastfeed. I breastfed for all of like less than a month. It didn't work out for me. It was something that, not that I didn't enjoy, because I really wish that I was able to, but I didn't. There was no like good contact between her and I. It was extremely painful to me. Like, there was bleeding. It just wasn't what I envisioned and what everyone, you know, hypes it up to be. So I'm really nervous and anxious to see how it goes this time around. I'm praying that it goes well, because I really want to try it again, but I don't know how long that'll last. So I'm nervous for that. Yeah. Just because it didn't go well the first time, you know what I mean? So there's like, but with that being said, at least I know what a bad experience is. So this time I won't be like, I'll be upset about it, but I won't be like as affected as I was the first time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like
I know.
you're okay with the fact that you didn't do it the first time, so this time won't have that like, I thought that's what.
Big of a chance. Like, oh my God, why can't I do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
good.
The other thing that I'm nervous for is just like the new world that I'm bringing this baby into. It's just something very different. Like, I mean, in the newborn stages, I didn't really bring Amy out that much often anyways, but I still would, go see family. People would come see me or us, I should say, people would come visit the hospital and all these things. And we're not going to get that this time around. And so I'm really nervous to see. Obviously, I know the support's still going to be there. The love is still going to be there, but it's just going to be different in general.
Yeah. And like how much, like compared to the first time around when you had people coming over and like, I don't know if these specific things happened, but like maybe bringing food or maybe like, watching the baby while you took a shower or something like that. Whereas like this time around, the decisions based on COVID and stuff, like how often will people come over, how many people, like all of that it's I would imagine an extra like step of like thought process behind how often and who and all of that stuff.
Right. I mean, there's going to be like times where I'm going to feel like a bitch and tell them like, hey, if you do want to come, like, for certain people that I know are out there and active and or still working or something, like if you do want to come over, that's fine, but I need you to like not quarantine for 14 days, but I need you to like take it seriously and like don't go to any parties before you come for this
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's just stressful because I'll be in a vulnerable state and I don't know. I don't know how but then again, this all plays like, I don't know what the conditions of Isaiah will be when he's born. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah,
I pray for great health, but you never know. So
yeah.
That's what I'm nervous
for.
Things.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
Yeah,
a big nerve-wracking event for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this episode is landing officially 12 days before your due date. So by the time this episode comes out, Bailey could have had a baby. She might not have. She might be waiting. We don't know. We're filming this a whole month beforehand, so so we don't know. But once there is an announcement of, once there is like a baby, I will be sure to at least come on the podcast and like let you guys know that Bailey and Isaiah were safe and healthy and all of those things. And maybe you'll get to see like a sneak peek of Bailey after that. We don't know exactly how that'll work out, but until then,
that was it. I don't know.
Bailey's stressed.
I was gonna say like this recap, it was like of the holidays, it was so short and simple and to the point because like that's how this holiday was, you know what I mean? It was just short, small, simple, and
it's very weird. This whole season of life is weird.
Yep, and it's continuing, so
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, our quote for the day, the past 2 episodes, if you noticed, just that's fine. If you didn't notice, that's also fine. We did not do quotes. We kind of just, because the episodes were extremely long. Our last episode we did my wedding episode, and then this one coming up is going to be coming up, or
it'll have been the episode right before this.
Right. So yeah, on this coming Monday, it is going to be Cassie's wedding, and I'm so excited. So they were just so long, we just ended it. We didn't want to put you guys through anything else. So
Yeah.
today we have a quote, and the quote is, "Distance gives us a reason to love harder," which is just, always a thing. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. There's that saying in that quote. But yeah, definitely this season of our lives, just like you said, is different, and it makes you miss those who, not that you didn't realize you had these feelings for, or you didn't, not to say you didn't love them, but it's just making you realize a lot more, than
Yeah, I feel
before.
like this entire experience of COVID has really like made me more of a family person than I even thought I was, I guess, and like
Yeah.
made me realize, like, I feel like I have really put an effort in to the last 9 months or almost 10 months that this has gone on, really
Yeah.
prioritize like reaching out to my friends and family that I maybe don't even live close to or whatever, and maybe don't see all the time anyways, regardless, and now making sure that I really do put in the effort, because it's not like I can plan for like, oh, I'll see you in 3 months even. Like
Yeah.
I don't know when the next time I'll see you is. So
Exactly.
I just feel like I mean, this part is like the good thing that came out of COVID, I guess, is just that like I feel like really good in making sure to stay connected as I can
Yeah.
with the people that matter the most.
It's crazy you say, just to hit a small little topic on this really quick before we end. It's crazy because have always been a really big family person. I'm always in general with my whole family, but like especially with my immediate family, like I'm beyond close with my mom, my dad, and my brother, and I'm like so thankful for that relationship. And so during this season, um I missed them a lot. And like when I didn't see them for 86 days and I counted, it was extremely rough. I'm used to seeing my parents like every weekend and hanging out and making it a big ordeal, big dinner, games, like it was a thing. And so to not do that for so long, and then now it's like we haven't fully gotten back into that groove. One, I'm not working, so they don't, watch their granddaughter every weekend anymore. And so I don't go over there every weekend to pick her up and then make it a hangout. It's different. But on the same hand, I noticed that during this time, I've grown apart from certain family members, because you realize that, wow, they're not reaching out to me, but I'm also not reaching out to them over and over and over again. And so like it's kind of pushed me away from some people, and that's also super sad. So, and I know that's like so like controversial with our quote, but it's just a fact that's happening. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I
like a
mean?
mix of both, I think. A mix
Yeah.
of like kind of realizing how much energy you can give and who you want to just give that energy to, because you can't do the easy thing, which is like, oh, let's all just get together and like hang
Yeah.
out. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to put the effort into reaching out and like talking to them on X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's different.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Well, but anyways.
Yeah, that's our quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Oh, so weird.
I know we're not going to film together for a while. I'm sad. But you guys can all follow us on wherever you're listening or watching to this podcast. So on YouTube, you can subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed. It does help out the channel a lot. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review us, because that also helps the podcast out a lot. We also have Instagram and Twitter. You guys should go and follow us on Instagram on both the Girls Who Gab and the personal Instagrams, so that you can check out. Bailey will, I'm sure, announce her pregnancy on her personal account. So if you're interested in getting up to date before the podcast will up to date you, then you should go check all that out down below.
Yes. Oh, how exciting.
I know.
All right. Well, that was our episode. And well, from me, you guys all have a wonderful next couple of months.
I know. And I will see you guys every other week is when we post. So see you very soon. Cheers. We're both empty.
I